Cool. So we're gonna come into a comfortable seat, so cross-legged position, or whatever's most comfortable for you. We'll rest the hands on top of the knees. We'll sit up nice and tall and take a second to close the eyes. Find your connection to your breath by simply noticing the inhale and the exhale. Relaxing through the shoulders, keeping an erect spine, but an easy position with the shoulders stacked over the hips. And you're more than welcome to place a blanket or block underneath the hips. That's more comfortable. And let's begin a couple of rounds of cleansing breaths. So taking a bigger, slower, more full, complete inhale in through the nose. And then a big open mouth exhale. Take two more. Breathe in all the way, fill up the belly, fill up through the chest, taking a big breath in, holding at the top for just a moment. And then a big open mouth exhale, letting it all come out. And then one more, all the way full. Again, holding once you've gotten to the top of the inhale. And then taking a big open mouth exhale again. Good, so with your next exhale, let's slowly drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder. And we'll reach the left hand down to the ground next to us. So you can tense the fingertips like how I'm doing. And again, feel free to sit on top of something if it helps to tilt the hip bones further forward. But sit up nice and tall once the head is over towards the shoulder. And if you want to, you can always add the right hand on top of the head. So slow down the breath, taking a bigger breath in through the nose. And keep the jaw slightly open so you can give some gentle open mouth exhales. Let's take 4 more. 3. 2. And last one. So on the inhale, let's release the hands back to the knees, drop the chin into the chest. And then as you exhale, shift right over to the other side. So left ear over towards the left shoulder, and then the right fingertips come and tent down onto the ground next to you. So the hand doesn't have to be flat down. It can stay tented. And of course, if you want to add that left hand on top of the head, you can. You want to find a significant sensation along the side of the neck that's not painful, but noticeable. Once you're there, close the eyes and start taking those slow, full rounds of breath in through the nose. And open mouth exhales. Taking 4 more. 3. 2. And last one. Good. So on the inhale, slowly return the hands to the knees, drop the chin into the chest, and then we'll move with the breath. So as you inhale next, right ear over towards the right shoulder, head leans back just a little bit. Exhale, bring the chin back down into the chest, but keep the rest of the spine tall. So inhale, left ear over towards the left shoulder, keeping the jaw relaxed. Exhale, bring the chin back down into the chest. Inhale, head is heavy over towards the right, leaning the head just slightly back behind you. And then exhale, drop the chin down into the chest. Take an inhale, left ear over, heavy over to the left. And then exhale, bring it back down through center. Good, so one more round, up and over to the right on the inhale. And exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, over to the left. And exhale, bring it down. So as the head is heavy through center, you sit up even a little bit taller, but keep the head heavy. If you don't feel any sensation on the back of the neck or the tops of the shoulders, add just the slightest bit of weight using the hands. Wrapping the hands around the back of the head, elbows draw in towards the forehead. I'm going to hold for about 5 rounds of breath, but make sure that you don't feel any pain and the sensation is not too great. And keep the eyes closed so you can connect to the sensation that we've created. The last 2. Last 1. So on the inhale, let's release the hands and bring the head back up to center. Take any movement with the neck that feels good. So it might feel good to take the head from side to side, or it may feel good to drop the head back, bring it into some full circles. But just do whatever feels good and right for the next 3 rounds of breath. Anything goes. And so with the next inhale, let's bring the head up to center and lean back into the hands. We'll uncross the legs, bring the soles of the feet into the ground, and begin to windshield wiper the shins from side to side. Stay connected to the breath as we are moving. Just another 2 here. And with your inhale, let's bring it to center, extend the left leg and have the right knee bent, right heel close in towards the groin. So I'm gonna sit on top of my blanket because it does help me to elevate my hips a little bit more. And again, you can as well. You can also use a pillow, block, or anything really underneath. It makes my forward motion a little bit easier here. So we're going to slowly bring the hands forward here, and we're going to come down through center. Normally we fold over the left leg, but for the first couple of rounds of breath, we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to flex the left toes back towards the face. There is an engagement through the left leg. The left leg is pressing down into the ground. And you're seated up nice and tall, just hands out in front of you. Maybe they reach the ground, maybe they don't. It doesn't matter, just let them be out in front. And again, just firmly pressing the left leg down into the ground. Seated nice and tall. Good. So with the next inhale, take a full breath in with a long spine. And then as you exhale, keep all the length into the spine. We're going to tiptoe the hands maybe just an inch further forward. So we're taking 2 more rounds of breath just like that. So inhale, slowly lifting up, lengthening. Pressing the left leg down into the ground as we do that. And then as you exhale, keep the length into the spine. The hands walk just a little bit further forward. So 1 more. Breathe in, nice tall spine. And then the exhale, the hands reach a little bit further forward. So from here, if your spine is already at its edge, stay here. There's no need to round the spine. And especially if you round through the spine, it hurts, come back to the starting position. But if it feels okay in the body to do so, you're gonna round through the spine, allow the head to come down, the arms to come down, and just get as close down to the ground as you can. You can use blocks here or pillows if you have them available. They're not necessary, but they are nice little additions if you are within arm's reach of them. You can rest the forearms down if you need that support. And again, these blocks can be replaced with anything, books, pots, pans, whatever works for you. If you did round through the spine, let the head totally relax down, you can release the engagement in the left toes, no matter what the spine looks like. And once you're here, start breathing into the belly. So you're expanding the belly towards the ground. And as you exhale, you're getting a little bit heavier through the head, a little bit heavier through the entire torso. Eyes are closed, and we're drawing the attention inward for the moment. So just check in to see how you feel. Maybe you need to keep the spine long if it is bothering your low back or you're experiencing any sort of pain. But our stillness is our main goal here. Finding an appropriate edge and being able to stay in stillness. So today I wanted to talk with you just a little bit about anticipation and this idea of waiting. Of course, I have a quote to go along with it. Of all the hardships a person had to face, none was more punishing than the simple act of waiting. So it's in the anticipation of things in which makes what we are planning for exciting. But the waiting game can be a hard and gruesome challenge for the inexperienced, especially when it comes to our practice here. The trick is to not only wait and endure the waiting, but also have patience in that process. So not willing or forcing our way into the future, but accepting that all things come with their own timeline. And this relates to our body, our plan for life, and this posture. Make sure you relax through the face. You're as heavy as you can be. And we'll sit in the anticipation of the end of this posture for one more minute. So 3 more rounds of breath, nice and deep. So this last one, a big full breath in through the nose, holding the breath. And then a big open mouth exhale. Good, so if you have the spine rounded, keep the head heavy as you slowly walk the hands back in towards the body. Take all the time you need, the slower the better. The head is the last thing to lift up out of the posture. And then once you have lifted up, we'll lean back. Take a bend into the left knee. Wow. Bring both soles of the feet into the ground. And again, we'll windshield wiper the shins from side to side. So as we shift these shins from side to side, you can just taking notice of the sensation in the hips and the back of the legs as we do so. Noticing any differences from side to side. Bring it back to center and we'll switch over to the other side right away. So extend the right leg over to the right side and we'll bring the hands out in front of us. So we do want our legs to be as wide as they can get and our torso facing forward. We'll flex the right toes towards the face so there's an engagement in the leg for the first portion of this posture. Hands out in front of you, sit up nice and tall, sitting kind of on the edge of your sit bones. So just get comfortable with this long spine for another couple rounds of breath. Feel free to close the eyes. Take notice of the sensation that is here before we go any deeper. And then with your inhale, lengthen through the spine, reaching the top of the head towards the ceiling. As you exhale, keeping the length, walk the hands just slightly forward. Again, it's not very much. So take two more just like that. Breathing in, lifting up. And keep all the length into the spine. Walk the hands forward. The right leg is still pressing down into the ground. So one more. Breathe in, lift up, lengthen. And then exhale, walk it forward. Good, so same thing here. Even if it's different on this side, if you're experiencing any pain in the low back, stay lifted up. Stay in this lifted position. Maybe even place more pillows or blankets underneath you. But if it's okay to round through the spine, take the weight of the torso and the head forward to release the tension in the right leg and be as soft as possible, especially if you are in the rounded position. The head is heavy, eyes are closed, and starting to take that big belly breath. So you're expanding the belly towards the ground. Exhaling to release any bit of tension here, any bit of holding on that may be present. So your breath is the same throughout the posture. If you notice that your mind drifts away from the rhythm of the breath, let the next breath in be that big, expansive belly breath. Take note of where the sensation is here. So it's a little bit different in every body. So try not to attach a thought of, I should be feeling this here, but I am feeling it here. That's not the point. The point is to observe where it is you are experiencing it. Can your mind stay with that sensation rather than run away from it or judge it or wish it wasn't there? If this posture is challenging for you, just accepting that all things come with their own timeline. And it's okay to be at the beginning of that timeline. Allow the anticipation of the end of this posture to excite you. Rather than have it weigh heavily on the mind, on the body. So just one more patient minute here. Continuing that belly breath. And notice if tension has creeped in unnecessarily. Really relax through these last 3 rounds of deeper, more fuller breath. Two more. And last one, a big full breath in, momentarily holding at the top of that inhale. And then a big open mouth exhale. Same thing as we get out, keep the head heavy if the spine's rounded. Otherwise, just simply walk the hands back in. The head is the last thing to lift up out of the posture once you have lifted. And we'll lean back into the hands. Take a bend into that right knee. For me, it feels a little almost unresponsive. May take a second to bend it. And again, we'll windshield wiper the shins from side to side. Get a little bit wider with the stance of the feet so that you can really draw the knees down towards the ground as you bring them over from one side to the next. Notice if it's a little bit harder to get the knees down in one direction as opposed to the other direction. And then let's bring it back to center here. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. Again, still continue to sit on top of something if you can. We'll bring the heels a little further away from our groin rather than really close in. And we're just going to do a little bit of a side body stretch before we go forward into it. So just like we did as we were seated at the beginning of class, we're going to take the left hand down next to us, but this time we're going to plant the palm down into the ground. And then as you inhale, we're going to reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. So if you want to, if your right arm gets tired for any reason, you can take the right hand to the back of the head. But continue to look up at the ceiling here. I'm going to take my hand to the back of my head just because it feels a little bit better in my body to do so. But again, feel free to continue to extend the right arm up. So I want you to lean over into the left hand as much as possible. So creating a longer right side of the body here. We're not going to hold for that long, but just one more minute. If you can continue to look up at the ceiling, great. If looking down at the left hand is better for the neck, great, that's fine as well. Continue to breathe into the right side of the body while you are here. And maybe even take a bend into the left elbow, bringing your body into even further of a side stretch. We'll take our last 3 here. 2. Last one. Good, so on the inhale, extend the hands up towards the ceiling. Take a look up, really reach out from the hips. And as you exhale, let's shift sides. So the right hand is going to come down next to us again. The left hand can reach up and over. You get a little bit more of a side body stretch with the hand extended, but my shoulders are very tired and sore from my workout yesterday, so I'm going to take my left hand to the back of my head. Again, gaze can be up at the ceiling or down towards the hand. Get as much length into the left side of the body as you can. Maybe you even draw the right elbow closer down towards the ground. Maybe you even rest the right elbow down onto the ground next to you. Again, we want to continuously find this edge of sensation along the left side of the body. Once you're there, start deepening the breath. And we're going to take just 1 more minute here to sit with the sensation. Focusing the breath into the left side of the rib cage. More intentional space into the left side of the body. Keep the breath deep and long. And we're taking 3 more. See if on the exhale you can get a little bit more deep into that body, the side of the body. Last round of breath. Good, so on the inhale, let's extend the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Really send the energy from the hips to the fingertips. As you exhale, bring the palms together, bring the thumbs into the heart. Take a second to just pause. Notice how the body feels here. Noticing our breath, how it's moving. And also take note of where your mind goes as soon as I stop speaking. Good. So on the inhale, let's slowly open the eyes. We'll take the hands to the outer edges of the knees. Bring the knees together and give your a hug of the thighs in towards the chest. So you're gonna wrap your arms underneath the thighs, underneath the knees. We're just gonna squeeze the thigh toward the chest here. And as much as you can, and it doesn't have to be any amount at all, but as much as you can, tiptoe the feet a little further forward, keeping the chest connected to the thighs. And I'll show you a side view so it's a little bit better visual for you. So I'm going to keep my connection of my chest to the thighs, and maybe I extend the legs just about halfway. Maybe I extend the legs fully. And we're just breathing into the back of the body here. So again, you keep the knees bent, the head can relax forward, and as much as sensation will dissipate, you'll just tiptoe the feet a little further forward. Maybe it's just an inch at a time. Continue to hold the chest close to the thighs using your arms. And continue to breathe into the back of the body while you're here. Notice any and all sensation as the breath flows through the body. I'm only going to take about 4 more rounds of breath because we're going to go a little bit deeper into this forward fold. Good, so as you inhale, let's release the bind and we'll slowly come up. We'll take the hands back behind us. Fingertips point towards the hips. If that's too intense for the wrist, you can have the fingers face out to the sides. Feet are about hip distance apart. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, lift the hips up and drop the head back. Take one more round of breath here. And with an exhale, we'll slowly lower the hips down to the ground. So we're going to take the legs out wide, and I swear this will be our last forward fold. I know forward folds can be challenging for a lot of us. So all the more reason to do them, right? So if you have anything, any aid to put underneath the hips, I'm even gonna put a little extra help underneath my hips. I'm gonna take another pillow underneath my hips. Now we're gonna go all the way down through center here. So extend the legs out as wide as you can. Make a funny noise on the ground. If you have blocks, awesome. Take them in front of you and utilize them however you need. But we're going to first lift up and lengthen, keep the toes flexed, pressing the legs down into the ground. So again, if this is already enough sensation for you here, stay here. There's no need to round through the spine or move any further forward. If just sitting upright with the legs extended is enough, that's fine. Stay there for the duration of the pose. But if you do want to go further forward, let's take a breath in, lifting up, lengthening through the spine. Hands down on the ground in front of you. As you exhale, again, keep all the length into the spine. Walk the hands just a little bit further forward. Keep the engagement in the legs. So take two more like that. Breathe in, lifting up. And exhale, walking the hands a little further forward. Take your time with the breath and the movement. Breathe in, lifting up again. And then exhale, pulling your hands a little bit further forward. Good. So stay here. This is quite enough for you. If you're experiencing any pain in the low back, maybe even back out a little bit. If it feels okay, begin to round into the spine. Maybe walk the hands a little further forward. Maybe come down into it. This is usually a relatively intense posture for most people, so really don't be alarmed if you don't make it too far down into it. It is common, and there's no need to judge your body or judge yourself for it. Once you're here, relax the flexion in the toes, relax the tension in the legs. And if you rounded through the spine, let the head be heavy and allow the weight of the head to help pull you further down into it. The same thing while we're here, we're taking a big belly breath, expanding the belly towards the ground. As you exhale, you can give a slight pull of the belly button in towards the spine. So just a slight contraction of the abdomen at the bottom of the exhale. So because this posture is usually very challenging for most people, the anticipation may be great. So stay with it, stay focused. Really give full attention to relaxing through the limbs, relaxing through the arms, shoulders, the legs as well. Better late than never with the music. Take notice of how you're breathing if your attention has drifted away from it. And as always, if sensation becomes too great, always backing out of it a little bit. Not to back out all the way. If you do need to release. And whatever movement you do need to take, take it very, very slowly. We're still here for one more minute. So deepening the breath if you haven't yet. We'll take our last round here. On the inhale, very slowly, we're going to walk the hands back in towards the body. If you have your blocks, bring them out of the way. And lean back into the hands. Take it back into the knees. Maybe help your legs by taking the hand to the back of the thigh and pull them in. And we're just going to windshield wiper from side to side. One last time. Be very challenging for a lot of reasons, so congratulations, you made it through. So on the inhale, let's take any props that may be out from underneath us, place them off to the side. We're going to start to make our way down onto the back, so you can bring the soles of the feet down into the ground, slowly curl the spine, and lower yourself down onto the mat. Take your hands on top of the knees and just draw your knees into some circles to massage the sacrum onto the ground. Be sure you go in both directions here, so reversing the direction after a couple of rounds. Bring it back to center, squeeze the knees into the chest, give it a good tight hug for one round. Good, so we're gonna extend the right leg and we're gonna plant the left foot down into the ground. So the left knee will stay bent, the right leg is extended. And we're going to try something here. It may work for you, it may not. Do let me know at the end of class if it did. But I'm going to make it accessible for you no matter what. So we're going to extend the right arm up overhead and we're going to roll onto the right side of the body here. You're going to kind of use your right bicep as a support for your head, and feel free to look up at me for this next minute or so, just so you can see where we're going. So we're going to keep the right leg extended. We're going to bend into the left knee and then grab a hold of the left foot with the left hand. So coming into a quad stretch here. This is your first position and this is what's most important. So slightly a bit of a balance challenge. So if balance is an issue, you can bend into the right knee here. We'll offer a little bit more of a stable support. If it feels okay and right in your body to do so, we're going to keep the right leg extended. And then we're going to roll onto the top of the left foot here. So I know you guys can't see it. Maybe I should show you from the other side. And it may not even be possible for you, but I have to give you the option just in case it is. So again, this is my left knee. You have it hugging in. Then bring the top of the foot down into the ground and coming into it like so. You may be surprised as to how accessible that is once you commit into it, but if you were just like, absolutely no way, this is not happening, just stay on the right side of the body here. I'm gonna stay here just so I know that there's intensity and I can experience it along with you. We're only gonna be here for another minute and a half, so find something that works and send the breath into the front side of the hips, so lowest part of the belly. And then as you exhale, if you still have a hold of the left foot in your left hand, pull the heel in towards the glute as you're there. You're still fine like I am. Just focus on relaxing through the body. Longer, deeper rounds of breath to ease the tension. I'm taking 2 more good deep rounds of breath here. And so if you're in the supine position like I am, I'm going to roll over onto the right side of the body. And then just extend. We're all going to come onto the back of the body, hug the knees into the chest here. And take a happy baby briefly. So soles of the feet face up towards the ceiling, holding onto the feet or the backs of the thighs. And give it a little bit of a rock from side to side. Good. So when you are ready, we'll shift to the other side. I'm going to turn around. So the same thing. Can start to just extend the left hand up overhead and then start to roll onto the left side of the body. You just stay here, holding on to the right foot with the right hand. Working on opening up through the quad, or if you feel ready to, roll onto the top of the right foot. This one's a little bit more challenging for me. See, my knee is up off the ground. It's okay if that's a scenario for you, as long as you can withstand the sensation on the top of the foot here and work on softening. It's okay. Also, the heel should be on the outside of the hip, so we're not sitting on top of the heel, but we're sitting on the inside of the heel. And start breathing into the lowest part of the belly here. And finding as much softness as possible with your exhale. And just 1.5 more minutes here. Closing the eyes. And notice what you're thinking right now. Let's take our last 2 rounds of breath here. last one. Good, so we'll roll onto our backs with the knees hugging into the chest and roll off to the left. Your supine, hugging the knees and give yourself a good tight squeeze. A little bit of a rock from side to side. And so let's bring it to center and bring the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide. You can always use a couple of pillows, blankets, or blocks underneath the thighs for a little bit of extra support if you want it or need it. But otherwise, just a butterfly position underneath. Butterfly position with the legs is fine. If it feels okay and right in the body and you have enough space to extend the arms out onto the ground. So you have this nice big exposed posture here. A little extra sensation along the front side of the chest. If you want, you can bend to the elbows, field goal pose with the arms. So most importantly, we want to be a little bit more relaxed than creating sensation as we wind down this practice. If this position with the legs bothers you at all, you can bring the soles of the feet into the ground and just take a second to pause there. Maybe just work on opening through the chest. But once you've arrived, take one cleansing breath at your own pace. So taking a big, full breath in through the nose. A big open mouth exhale. Continue to breathe with some slowness and some intention while you're here. And remain soft and forgiving in the body. We'll stay for just about another 5 rounds of breath here. So with your next inhale, let's slowly bring the thighs closer together. You can use your hands to do so. And we'll hug the knees into the chest one last time. If you feel like you want to or need to, give yourself another little rock from side to side. Otherwise, we're going to release down into our Shavasana from there. So extend your arms and legs. If you really like that Supta the posture we were just in, feel free to take it again. Otherwise, feel free to support yourself however you like. You can always take a pillow underneath your head, make a big star shape with your body. Even lie on the side of the body if that's more comfortable for you. Whatever works, as long as you are resting in your posture. So closing the eyes, allowing the whole weight of the body to go into the ground. Nothing to do and nothing to see, nowhere to be. So give yourself total rest, and I will guide you back when it's time. Start to gently deepen your breath. And you have the legs extended. Very slowly begin to wipe with the feet from side to side. So they point over in one direction and then they point over to the other. And then do opposite feet. So the feet point out from the center. And then the feet point into the center. And give your ankles a couple of circles. And then re-engage the body through the arms, extending them up overhead, and then giving yourself a full body stretch. As you exhale next, hug the knees into the chest. And roll over onto the side of the body, come into a fetal position. And take a second to pause there, refine your breath. And on an inhale, let's come up to a comfortable seat once more. palms together, bring the thumbs into the heart, slightly bow the chin into the chest. And we'll end with one more cleansing breath. So big full breath in through the nose. And big open mouth exhale. And thank you guys so much for letting me guide you through your practice. Always an honor and a pleasure to do so. Namaste.
Thank you.